What's up, everyone? I'm Justin.
And I'm Nick.
And we're Fantasy Football in the Zone. And this video will be about our Week 4 starts and sits. And yesterday started off the week as the New York Giants defeated the Washington Redskins with a final score of 45-14. Another blowout on Thursday night. And Larry Donald, 3 touchdowns. And if you had a guy like Julius Thomas on a bye week, there's 6 teams on bye this week.
Yeah,
and if
Bengals,
you have Larry
Seahawks,
Donald, Broncos, a lot of big teams. And if you have Larry Donald, it paid off for you. 3 touchdowns. He had a great day for you. Great waiver wire pickup. And now, first off, if you have any fantasy football questions, tweet us at FfInTheZone.
Or drop a comment down
below. And we will get that back to you right away.
Possible.
Now let's start things off with the star quarterbacks. My star quarterbacks are Tony Romo and Colin Kaepernick. I love both of these guys. Both have great matchups. Tony Romo is going up against the Saints on Sunday Night Football, and I just think in order for the Cowboys to win this game, he has to be passing a lot. I think it's going to be a shootout, and I expect Breeze and Romo to have a great day. And I like Colin Kaepernick going up against the Eagles defense. The Eagles defense is struggling against the pass, and Kirk Cousins had a great day last week against them, so I think Colin Kaepernick can do the same thing, and maybe he could run one in for you.
Yeah, both Tony Romo and Colin Kaepernick's matchups are very good. But my star QBs are Nick Foles and Jay Cutler. I like Jay Cutler this week. I think he's going to have a good week. He had a good week last week against the Jets, who have a decent defense. And I think he's going to do pretty good against the Packers this week. The Packers haven't been very good on defense, and I think Cutler's poised for a good day. My next guy is Nick Foles. I think he's going to be in a shootout. Like Dustin said, Colin Kaepernick, and I like Nick Foles. Both the quarterbacks in this matchup, both a lot of passing and passing touchdowns.
My sit quarterbacks are Joe Flacco and Alex Smith. I'm not big on either one of these guys. I think there's better options out there. Joe Flacco, he hasn't been performing for you, and I just think there's better options even with the 6 teams on the bye. And Alex Smith, another guy, I think there's better options. I think another guy who really hasn't been performing going up against on Monday Night Football, going up against the Patriots, and I just want to start him.
Yeah, I agree with you for the same reasons. My six QBs are EJ Manuel and Geno Smith. Geno Smith had a terrible week last week, and even with the like you said, even with the 6 teams on a bye, I don't like this quarterback, Geno Smith. And my second guy is EJ Manuel. They're going up against the Texans, and like Geno Smith, he didn't really have a great game last week, and I don't like either of these guys. There's better options, such as a guy like Ryan Tannehill or Jake Locker.
And I agree with you once again. And let's move on to the starting running backs. My start running backs are Matt Asiata and Fred Jackson. I like Matt Asiata versus the Falcons defense. Falcons defense, another defense struggling. They really are having trouble against the run. And I like Matt Asiata as a high-end flex play this week. Like a lot of teams are on bye, so you're going to have desperate plays. And I think he could have a big week. And Fred Jackson, I like him also going up against the Texans. I just think Fred Jackson's playing better than C.J. Spiller right now.
Yeah.
We thought C.J. Spiller was going to bounce back, but let's face it, he's just not the same type of player as he was a few years ago.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's the main guy anymore. I think Fred Jackson is still the veteran.
Yeah,
I think
better
he's still
guy
better
there.
right now.
Yeah, C.J. Spiller hasn't really been doing much. My star running backs are D'Angelo Williams and Donald Brown. Both of these guys put into the starter role due to injuries, and I think they're both going to be consistent backs for you. I like both their matchups. The Panthers are going up against the Ravens, and the Chargers are going up against Jacksonville, which is going to be a good matchup for Donald Brown. I think you have both of these guys in your lineup with Lynch, Monty Ball, and Giovanni Bernard all on bye weeks this week.
I agree. And my sit running backs are Steven Jackson and Bernard Pierce. And I'm not high on Steven Jackson. Let's face it, that team's a 4 running back committee right now.
Yeah,
they have Steven Jackson, Antoine Smith, Devonta Freeman, and Jacquizz Rodgers, They're all splitting carries, and that's a passing offense. I just don't think you could stuff start Steven Jackson. He definitely lost the value. He's not the same type of player as he was. He's not the main guy in Atlanta. I just don't know if you could start him. Maybe you start him this week because you're desperate, like I said, because there's a lot of buys. But I just don't like the matchup if you have another option. And Bernard Pierce, I just like another guy in the committee, Lorenzo Taliaferro, good waiver wire pickup. Justin Forsett, I don't know if you could start him either.
Yeah. My two sit running backs are Joyke Bell and C.J. Spiller. You said you liked Fred Jackson, and I agree with that. And I don't like C.J. Spiller for the reasons you like Fred Jackson. I think Spiller is done.
Jackson's the main guy.
Yeah, Jackson's the main guy there. And my second guy is Joyke Bell. He only had 2-3 points in a PPR league last week, which is pretty bad. And this week he's going up against the brutal matchup against the Jets. And I think since you might be desperate since 6 teams are on a bye, I think you may have to start him as your flex. But if you could avoid it, I think you should stay on your bench this week.
I agree. I wouldn't say C.J. Spiller is done. I just don't think. I just like Fred Jackson more. I think C.J. Spiller is a good flex option, but I think Fred Jackson's more like a low end too.
Yeah, I don't think he's much more.
My start wide receivers are DeAndre Hopkins going up against Buffalo. Buffalo stopped Keenan Allen, but I just think Keenan Allen wasn't 100%, and he wasn't the same type of player. And I think DeAndre Hopkins, he's been making these crazy catches every game. I think he's emerging as Fitzpatrick's #1 guy. I still think Andre Johnson's value. DeAndre Hopkins, good matchup, and I think Fitzpatrick loves to get him the ball. And Julian Edelman, love this guy much more in a PPR league. He's been a PPR monster going up against the Chiefs on Monday night. I really like him.
Yeah, agreed. My star wide receivers are Keenan Allen and Marquise Wheaton. I think Keenan Allen, although he hasn't done much for fantasy owners this year, who took him as a low-end 1, high-end 2, I think this is the perfect week for him to bounce back. He's been injured and had tough matchups with the Seahawks and the Cardinals. Yeah, and he's going up against Jacksonville. That's a great matchup for him to bounce back. And my second start wide receiver is Marquise Wheaton. He's been having solid weeks, and I'd be starting him even as a wide receiver too, since a lot of teams are on a bye this week. And they're going up against the Bucs, and the Bucs secondary hasn't been very good. I think he's fitted for a 10-11 point week.
And Marcus Wheaton had a touchdown last week, and he didn't have. And I agree. I would have him if none of your receivers are on a bye. I would trust him as a wide receiver 3, 4. But like you said, a lot of guys are on bye, so that raises his value. My wide receivers are Torrey Smith. He might even be a guy you just dump onto the waiver wire. Steve Smith's been that top guy, and now Dennis Pitt is out, so it's another reason to love Steve Smith. I just don't know if I could trust Torrey Smith. And T.Y. Hilton, he's going up against the Titans. Their corners are pretty solid, and I just don't like the matchup for him, and I think there's better options out there.
Yeah. My sit wide receivers, my first one is Dwayne Bowe. I don't really like him at all. He hasn't been done much after his suspension.
He might be a guy who just dump onto the waiver wire at this point.
Agreed. Plus, he's going up against Revis this week, so even if you're desperate, I really don't see.
Would you drop him right now?
Yeah, I really don't see a reason to hang on to him. And my second guy to sit is Sammy Watkins. Like I said, I don't like E.J. Manuel, and I don't really like Sammy Watkins this week. I only really like Fred Jackson, like Justin said.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not big on Sammy Watkins. I wasn't high on him from the start. E.J. Manuel, I'm not high in the quarterback situation. The only rookie receivers I'm high on this year is Brandon Cooks and Kelvin Benjamin.
Wheaton.
Yeah. Wheaton's on a rookie receiver.
Oh, yeah.
But my start tight ends, are Delaney Walker and Gates. Gates, we keep on saying he's done, but we thought Ladarius would be the tight end, but he's performing. He had 3 touchdowns against Seattle. He's a great start this week, and he's going up against Jacksonville. Love the matchup. And if you had Julius Thomas and Gates, your tight ends are playing great, so I definitely think he's a start with the guy on a bye or not. I love the matchup. And Delaney Walker, he's questionable this week, but if he's a go, I definitely start him. He's going up against a weak Colts defense against tight ends, so I would definitely start him.
My star tight ends this week are Jason Witten and Martellus Bennett. Like Justin said, that Cowboys-Saints game on Sunday night, that's going to be a shootout. I think you start all your receivers and all your tight ends in that game.
Bennett's having a great
He had a good week last week. He had a touchdown and a good amount of yards, and he's gone up against a struggling Packers defense. and the Packers defense really hasn't been good, struggling.
I agree with you.
Move on to 6.
My sit tight ends are Owen Daniels and Kobe Fleener. I don't like Kobe Fleener this week. He had a good week last week, but I think Dwayne Allen's the main guy there. And Owen Daniels, even with Dennis Pitta out for the year most likely, I just don't think Owen Daniels has much value. I'd rather pick up a guy like Dwayne Allen, Delaney Walker if they're available, and I just don't trust him against the Panthers defense this week.
Yeah, my sit tight ends are Heath Miller and Travis Kelce. I don't really like either of these guys this week, especially Heath Miller. He's going up against the Bucs, and although I said the Bucs defense wasn't very good, I don't really like Heath Miller. He's coming off an injury, and I don't think he's going to perform very well.
Let's move on to the sleeper defense. My sleeper defense, once again, we're targeting Jacksonville. I like the Chargers defense. Of course, they're going to be in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
It's pretty much safe to say, and they're a nice sleeper defense for you to play. Maybe
I'm starting them in one of my leagues because I have Arizona on a bye. And to sum it all up, my sleeper defense is the Lions. They're going up against the Jets, and the Jets haven't looked very good. And I think it's just going to be a good week for the Lions.
Yeah, they were going up against
Seattle
last week. They played
on a bye.
Green Bay, and they had Aaron Rodgers rattled. They were
points.
They had Aaron Rodgers rattled. Their defensive line is crazy with Sue on, so they were just getting right by that line and getting a lot of sacks,
especially with Seattle.
Yeah, I agree with you. And that's the video. Please drop a like, leave a comment, ask us questions, and
tweet us
subscribe
at
for more.
FfInTheZone. Thank you.